As I said, new applications for assigning and selecting work order operations. Short intro first, and then a short description of the changes, and then at the end a live demo. And my name is Bjørn Morten Stokker, and the subject is 3 new applications. It's the production operators job list, where they select the jobs they are working on. It's an application for assigning jobs from group resources to the members of the group. Not all customers are using this, but some customers are. And the last one is how to group jobs and running several jobs as a group. That is not used by many customers, but all these 3 will be released for new applications. This webinar is recorded, and we will take questions at the end of the session. You can use the chat functionality. And please mute your microphones unless I ask if everything is okay, because I'm having some technical problems. Okay. The first change, or the first application, is the operator's job list. The operators are today working from the RES application, orders list. There will be now a new application for this called RWOO. Somebody has not unmuted the mic. The benefits compared to the old application is, of course, as for all the new REX applications, selectable columns. The filter is remembered, so per user, so the filter that I used last time will be remembered. And some improved sorting possibilities. Second change, which also today is run from the same application, the old RES application, is distributing jobs from a group resource to a member. We have created a new application for that also. And the benefits is that you are showing the group and the members in one view. You have a multi-select tool, and it's also possible to unassign from member back to the group. The third application is also today run from the same old RES application, but now we will have a new one. That is an application for grouping jobs and run them as one group instead of single jobs. That's used by only very few customers. The benefits for this new one is that you have to flag the resources that you enable for this function. So it's not selectable on all the resources as it should not be. There's a multi-select tool to add jobs to a group, and there's a new group numbering that is better than the old one. So this new application will of course be documented in the RAMBase Knowledge Center. So now I'm going over to run online demo. Is this readable? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We have added to the left menu under production, and production you will find 3 new choices here. Select jobs on resource, which is the application, the first one, where operators select the resource and the jobs they are on. Then we have the next one, which is distribute jobs from resource groups to a member, and also the last one, which was running a group of jobs. So you are starting on the first one. This one opens the RWOO application, where you select the resource that you are going to work on. I'm just selecting a resource here. Drop down. You will only get the resources you will get in this menu is only single resources and those that are members of groups. You will not see resource groups or in this menu. Of course, the one thing to do here, and probably a lot of users have done this, is to add a bookmark for your resource. So of course, if my daily work is to work on this resource, I would add a bookmark. And the bookmarks that the users have today, they are of course not usable now for the new application. So you have to maybe help the users also to set new bookmarks. So I will save this as my resource. The default filtering will be like this: active jobs. About the columns in this application, of course, we have selectable columns. There's a default setup, but each user can change and remove columns and add the columns according to this list. So I want to, if I want to do changes, I'll do it here, and it will be per user, as for other REX applications. Some columns are sortable, as like the planned start. You also have a new column here for the planned finished at date. So if I want to remove some are using, some of our customers, they want to see which customer am I producing for. Some might not have to use that, so we could remove a couple of columns, and I don't want to see this, and I don't want to see, don't need to see which customer. So I can remove those columns and add another one. Now it will be remembered as my view of this menu. There are some new icons in this list that will be new to you compared to the old application. We have some new icons for the picking status, all remaining parts ready for picking. This one, some parts ready for picking. We have a little truck here, all parts not in stock. They are ordered, but we are missing them on stock. They are coming in probably, and some parts not purchased in this column. Then we have the on hold with also a mouse over with explanation for why it's on hold and when it was put on hold. This one is paused, so this is a pause icon. We still have the same explanation, of course, that or the state of the orders as before: ready, production, on hold, and paused, and so on. Some jobs are flagged that is high priority. They have this flag in front. To the right, we have more or less the same icons as before, but there's one new icon here, and that is this one, which in the old application was an F12 on the line for those jobs that were not yet started. Then you could assign to some other resource if this, like this resource, this is a member of a group, and it's, this group have other members. So then I can reassign this job to one of the other members or some alternative resource. This is the function that already exists in the old application, but now as an icon. To get into the job as before, you can just press enter on the line, double click, or you can press on the icon to the right. You have the arrow here that does exactly the same. Open the work order operation, which is still the same as before. We have some filter possibilities in this application. A couple of the filters up here, we have 4 filter possibilities. 2 of them, they need to be exact. That is because what we are filtering on there is placed in a table or not on main level. So I can, if I want to have the serial number, then I have to have an exact match. But that can also be, you could put the cursor on there, and you could scan the serial number by a barcode reader, and then you will filter exactly on the job that has this serial number. So if I highlight, let's take this one, and put that in the serial number, then it will sort out exact that job. The work ID that does not have to have an exact match, there we have the work order ID, so I can only take maybe parts of it. If I have 204, then it will filter out this work order ending on 204. The same for the product. You can also filter product by containing. So if I'm doing like that, UCT2, then it will find all work orders for the product 2. The LCM has to be exact, so you need the exact LCM number as for the serial number. And the filter is remembered by users. It could be a good idea to have in this icon here that gives the predefined filters. So it can be a good idea to add my tasks to this and work on maybe active and my tasks. If I click on that one, then I will see all belonging to this filter, all active jobs. If I only want to see my tasks, I just click on that and I see only the tasks that are active and that I'm working on. So that's a good way of filtering this list. So when you are done with a job, you can just click on that one and you will get all the jobs that are ready to be picked, and pick one job. When you pick one job, the operator is set on on the job. You can also select from active jobs. You can select, okay, here we see there are only 2 operators active on this resource for the moment, so I can select my active jobs also by doing like that. Yeah. I think maybe there is not much more to say about this application. You will have to, you should, of course, make new bookmarks for this when it is released. The release date is Thursday, 23rd, sometime in the afternoon. I think it was 4 o'clock. But the old application, the old REST work orders application, will be kept open for a couple of more days to allow the users to switch over to this new one and create new bookmarks for this. But it will not be kept for long, and we will send some let's say warnings for how when the old one will be turned off. Okay. Then we go over to the next application, which is how to distribute jobs from a resource group to members. The application is called DWOO, Distribute Work Orders, Work Order Operations, and you select which group you are going to do this from. The only resources you will get in this menu are group resources. Now I selected these pressure test chambers that have 2 members. This group resource has 2 members. The members are showing here at the right top side of the view. We have all the also one thing that is important to say that, of course, some customers, they do this distribution via the external resource planner, but also maybe some parts are done via this application. So this functionality that will not be available in the old REST work orders anymore. You have to use this DWOO application from Friday morning. You select a group, you get all the jobs that are only connected to the group and are not distributed to a member yet. Because of course you cannot run the work order on the operation on the group. You have to distribute it to a member to be able to work on it. So those not assigned are showing here in the left side. The members, they are showing at the upper right part of the screen, where you can see the resource, and you can also see some load graph here, and that is how much is this resource loaded today. This is shown in percent. And at the bottom right part, you can see the jobs that are assigned to the member you have highlighted above. So if I change to this one has no jobs assigned. It's only this one that has got some job. There's also some predefined filters here. This one is by default showing all ready and all waiting jobs. Ready jobs, operations, are those with status 3, and those with status 2, they are waiting, they are in queue. You can select between these two. So you can select ready operations. There was no one that was ready yet for this operation, and you can select wait, or you can just deselect these two, and you will get the combination all ready and waiting. Also, some columns selectable. Now we have there's not that many columns, but all are pre-selected here. So how to group this is, of course, by either by doing that one to say that, okay, I want to have this job, and this job. I want to distribute those to that member, and I can just move them to pressure chamber 2. These 3 jobs were disappearing from the group, and they are, because they are now distributed, and they are assigned to this resource, ready to be running on that one when they are ready to be started. You can also unassign one by one by saying, okay, I didn't want to have it on that resource, I'm moving that one back to the group. So you can do like that. Or you can also say that I want to move, I want to multi-select and do like that. And I want to move everything I have done by my filter and move it to some specific resource. Or unselect like that. There's also a possibility to if needed, you could filter on this this product by using legacy filter on this one. You can say legacy filter and the PVO part. You can filter out like that and say I want to have all the products, all the jobs for this product. I want to move them to this resource. That's not the intention. So this is the distribute work order operations from group to member application for those that are using that. The last application that I'm going to present is how to set and run a group of jobs, because that is also now removed from the less work orders application and into a new application. Now, the applications or the resources that you can do that on, they have to be set for this. So if we look into the resource configuration, just to show, I have done this for just a couple of resources, and that is how it's done. You have to set the allow grouping work order operations on the resource to allow this function. So only those resources that are marked with allow grouping work order operations will be available in the new GWOO application. So here you can see it's only 2 resources that are available. And in this menu, the jobs that will show is only jobs that are not grouped yet. There's also one thing about these jobs. Jobs cannot or will not be added to a run group like this, work order operation group, if they have parts connected to them. If these are for operation jobs that includes picking parts, they will not be added to groups, even though you can attempt to do it, because that makes the whole function too complicated. So this is a typical maybe resource to run groups on. If you have a some kind of pressure test, then it will be natural to group some jobs that you want to run together as one operation in a test chamber. You can select also by doing like that, or you can multi-select when you have got filtered what you want to have. You can do like that, and you will select all of them. You can search by product name. Now, there was not much to search about here, but it's the same as the RWOO application. It's searched by content of the product. So you will find like that. You can also search by or find by serial numbers, but then it's also, as it says here, it's the complete serial number. So if I have some serial numbers I want to add to this by, for example, scanning them in, I can do like that, and I will find exact match. I can select that one. I can search for another serial number, let's say 48. I got this one. I can mark this, and then I can remove it. I will see I have 2 marked jobs ready to be grouped. The run group, or this group numbering, is changed a bit compared to the old one. Now we are creating groups by combination of date and a group number. So you will see the date as a part of the, let's say, group naming in this application. The jobs, when you create a group, a new group, it will get status 1, and you're allowed to add jobs to the group in status 1. You can have many groups active at the same time. This one has status 4 because the jobs are started. Then when the jobs are started, then you cannot add more jobs to it or delete from the group. This one that has status 1 is not yet started. It's not I've not got any jobs. I can move this one over to this group, and I will have 3 jobs on the group 2 for that day. Yeah. What's left to say here? How to create a new group. You can remove also one by one from a group back to the ungrouped ones. You can create a new group by add new group. You will just get a new group. This is my first group of today, so I get a new group number with today's date and group number 1. This menu will show all groups 1 week back in time. So you can go back and look at the groups that you have run the last week. The groups, they are run as before, still as the same old application. When you start to run the group, if I go to this group that I created today, we can move over a couple of jobs to that one. Let's say these 3 jobs, move them to the group. And if I now run this group, then it's the same old application as before. I set ready and start. These were in status 2, so that's what is done. Now they are active. So now I'm running 3 jobs by 1 command. And if you go back to the GWOO, you see that the status has changed on all these 3 jobs. The group is set to status 4. It's closed for adding new members or deleting members. So this is run as before in the old application with the functionality that was there. So this was it, really, those 3 new applications to be found in the left menu under production and select jobs on resource for running jobs on a single resource and members for the operators, to distribute jobs from a resource group to members for those that are doing that, and to run these groups. That was the last one I presented. So these are the 3 new applications that will come out of this old resource work orders applications. All these 3 were running from these applications. So this application will, as I said, be kept for a couple of days, because you will need to after Thursday 23rd, approx 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was, the new one will be released, and then the users can start using the new one. And they must start using the new one within a couple of days after this release, because this application will be closed within quite short time. So you'll have a couple of days to set new bookmarks for the resources from the new application. Going in from production and select jobs on resource and find the resource they are looking at and create a bookmark.